Welcome to Black Hat 2026 with Security Point Break. I'm here with Broadcom's Marc Elias, who gave a research talk earlier today on bring your own driver. And I'd love for you, Marc, to introduce yourself, please.
Yes, I'm Marc Elias from the Symantec Threat Hunter Team, and I mostly focus on tracking nation-state groups and also ransomware groups.
Okay. So today at Black Hat, you gave a talk on bring your own driver, a play on the bring your own device, and I assume we're talking about hackers and hackers bringing their own driver um, uh, to their victim's front door. Can you talk a little bit about the research that you did and give people an overview of your presentation?
Sure. Well, the talk was about bring your own vulnerable drivers, as you described, and we focused mostly on ransomware attacks. And we describe how attackers use those tools to kill AVs, EDRs, or silencing them that they cannot get any telemetry.
So the trend in terms of utilizing drivers to get past or defeat EDRs, how long have you seen that in the threat landscape?
We have seen it quite a long time already, but nowadays we're seeing it more frequently.
More frequently.
Yeah.
And so I did have a question earlier in terms of why are we singling out, or why are attackers bringing their own driver, bringing your own executable? I feel like would accomplish the same kind of ransomware goals. But what is unique about the driver within the ecosystem that makes it a desirable thing to drop onto a victim's computer?
Well, what's important here is like AVs and EDRs typically are protected processes. So when they bring their own vulnerable driver, they have higher privileges, so they can interact with the driver, and the driver kills the AV or EDR.
So what you're saying is that ransomware groups are using driver-based evasion techniques increasingly to accomplish their goals. Uh, can you touch on why they're shifting that tactic, or why you might believe that they're shifting their tactic to use drivers versus some of the older, more tried and true types of executables or malicious malware that would allow them to, execute a ransomware attack?
Well, that's basically we believe that products are getting better on detecting ransomware attacks. So nowadays, ransomware groups need those tools to kill the AVs and EDRs, and not only your typical executables.
And so how are defenders supposed to prepare or to defend and make sure that their systems are equipped when the driver is actually the thing that they are attacking? Indicators of compromise. I mean, if it's a very stealthy attack, how do you identify it?
Yeah, that's one of the approaches that we proposed. That was to look at the behavior of the malicious file, because typically they drop the driver and then a malicious file. And the driver, it's not malware per se, it's benign. So we um, we define an approach that you have to inspect how the malware interacts with the driver, looking at the behavior. If a sample tries to kill a protected process or an AV or an EDR, that's how you should detect the attack. Not only have a list of malicious drivers, well, of vulnerable drivers.
How are they getting that binary on the victim's machine?
Yes, to run those tools, to bring your own vulnerable driver tools, they typically need to have access to the machine. And yeah, most common tactics to get initial infections are like exploiting vulnerable infrastructure on the victim machine, or yeah, executing a document via email, or nowadays we are seeing as well ClickFix attacks. And what they also use as well is like most of the infection chain is performed or done via dual-use tools or remote admin tools.
Can you talk a little bit about what those dual use and those admin tools are? Are we talking about living off the land kind
Living
of
off
things?
the land, exactly, and also RMM like AnyDesk or other RMMs
Okay.
in the wild, and that's why what we said as well is like in the defense evasion stage is why they need to kill the EDR because the previous steps are typically performed with dual use or fileless attacks that are difficult to detect.
When you think about the ransomware groups that are actually starting to use this as a modus operandi, you're seeing it more and more. Are you seeing it with the newer ransomware groups that are coming onto the scene, or are you seeing some of the ransomware groups that have been around for years using this type of technique?
A little bit of both, since some ransomware groups operates in affiliate schema.
Affiliates.
So it depends a little bit on the affiliate and their tools. And in the new groups as well, we have seen those bring your own vulnerable drives being bundled in the ransomware as a service. So the affiliates, they can run the tool and that's it.
In terms of a ransomware attacker wants to find a vulnerable driver, manipulate that driver, and drop it onto a victim's machine. So I mean, that's I'm following it the right way so far.
It's more like they bring it, like they drop it into the machine. It's not like they are scanning the machine and trying to find one.
But they have to pre-configure that driver, or they have to have the driver has to have some sort of instruction to. I mean, they just can't drop
interact with it. Yeah.
What's that?
Yeah, they have like one instruction that they can interact with it and it's vulnerable, and that's how they.
So is the instruction always like shut down the EDR, shut down the AV?
It's more like a pattern that we described in our talk, where they have capabilities to kill processes from kernel space, and they do not verify who's calling that process or that IOCTL that is calling the driver. Then any process can kill.
Okay. And do they then have a command and control? Do they have access? Do they have permanence and stealth and all those lovely, beautiful things?
No, those tools typically is like interact with the driver, launch that command, and do what they want, like kill AVs or remove EDR callbacks from the kernel space, and that's it. No command and control network communications.
And then when does the ransomware package execute?
In a couple of minutes after.
And I just want to thank you so much for joining me here at Black Hat and breaking down some of your really super interesting research. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much as well.